Well, hey everybody, it's Christy Furio with Keys to the Shop, and welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today's episode of Shift Break is brought to you by La Marzocco. Check them out at lamarzocousa.com. Reach out to them to have them walk you through all the options available to you in their extensive lineup of espresso machines. They've been making espresso machines for almost 100 years now, since 1927. They have been making them by hand in Florence, Italy. Beauty, dependability, innovation. Machines like the KB90 espresso machine with straight-in locking portafilter technology, great for ergonomics. You've got the Linea Classic, which is known and loved the world over. More technologically advanced version would be like the Linea PB, which I find myself recommending to my clients a lot. A huge array of different configurations and types to suit your needs. So again, reach out to them. Info at lamarzocousa.com and check their website out, lamarzocousa.com. Now, we are also sponsored today by our friends at rattleware.com. So smallwares are a big part of what it means to be successful in a coffee shop. If you don't believe me, try using little things that don't work. It becomes a huge issue. I love them because they are there in the background of your business, helping you do your work well with shot glasses and whisks and knockboxes and pitchers and things like that. Check them out at rattleware.com, and that will give you all you need to know. It's an extensive array of different smallwares to outfit your whole coffee bar. So check them out again over at rattleware.com. Now, today on Shift Break, we are going to be talking about how training by kind of a group process or trained by everyone does not work, and why it is we keep falling for this lie that we can train people by osmosis, almost by throwing them into the fray of the coffee shop. We think, oh, I got a team of superstars, and if I put this new barista in there, they're gonna, take them under their wing, and it's going to be this whole, come on, we'll show you the path, and this is the way, and this is our group, and we're going to disciple you into this religion of how we do coffee. And it just doesn't work out like that. What usually happens, and you can kind of fill in the blanks here, what usually happens? Confusion. One person says, yeah, they say do it like that, but we do it like this. Or he says, or she says, this is how you do it. And but I am actually, this is better. Just trust me, okay? So everyone's got their little secret way. But if you don't follow each person's little secret way, they get annoyed at you. They get upset. You get frustrated because you don't know who to please now. And the only reason you don't know that is because you were not given training by one person, a centralized source, a manager, a trainer, whoever it is in your business, a lead barista. But if everyone's responsible for training the new person becomes trained by committee. And those of you who work in nonprofits, etc., you know what committees do. They make things difficult. And, for me, coming from like the church world and stuff like that, you hear the stories all the time, and it's just kind of true. But you hear the stories like, why is it that it's so inconsistent in my shop? Well, it's because we've abdicated our responsibilities as leaders to be the point of clarity, to centralize knowledge and education and disseminate that in a structured way so that somebody can understand, how should we make a cappuccino in this business? What is this coffee shop's standard for a cappuccino? Not what is the senior barista's standard? Not what is this new barista who has a lot of outside experiences standard because we're super impressed by them and the trophies that they constantly show on their Instagram. What does the business say is the standard? I tell baristas this all the time. Your job is not supposed to be to impress your peers and to just do whatever you want. When you sign on to work for a business, you're saying, I am of the maturity level where hey, count on me. Give me a paycheck and I will work for you. for you. I will work for this company, on the behalf of the company, for the benefit of the company. That is the agreement you have made. And so when you go, you need to, if you're in that situation, seek out the right information, not the information that's like, okay, what do my coworkers tell me to do? But what is the company standard? If there is no company standard that exists, ask your manager, ask your boss, who should I listen to? Because a lot of people are telling me different things. What should I do? If you're the boss and you know that this is happening, you need to nip it in the bud. Stop this madness. Centralize the educational process as much as you can so that you get as little deviation away from the standard as possible. So that is a way that you can care for your staff. Clarity and good communication. It's such a refreshing thing if you've come from a place like we just described, where it's every person for themselves behind the bar. Now, this may be true because you feel you're so busy you can't do all of this stuff, and so you outsource it to the baristas in kind of a slipshod manner, if you're being honest, right? And maybe you can be forgiven because you are just hustling and you're just all over the place. There's always time, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. It's like this whole idea of micro habits. Just do one push-up. That's all. Just do one. One's better than zero. That's 100% improvement, you know? And in this scenario, if you feel like you don't have time to structure, just take a minute or two, take 5 minutes every day to think about what it looks like to create a training structure that creates clarity for how we do things, what to do, how to do it for this company, not, hey, just let your senior baristas or your entire group of baristas train this person, because again, it produces this confusion, it produces inconsistency and hurt feelings, because now you're going to come in because ultimately you do write the checks. And so now you have to do a performance evaluation on somebody that you really haven't even trained. And you don't have a right to train or evaluate them, really. Yes, you do have the right, but ethically speaking, not really. It'd be more appropriate to get their peers to review them in that case and say whether they deserve a raise or not and that kind of thing. You want to be involved, or you want to have some kind of a delegated authority involved in the process of doing this onboarding, doing the training. Don't train by committee. Don't train by saying everyone trains the person and therefore they're going to pick up the best of all the worlds. Really what happens is they will pick up everything from everybody, not just the good stuff, the bad stuff. And if that's the way you run it, you probably don't know everything that's going on in your bar. You should be an expert of what's going on in your bar. This is the stuff you need to be studying. If you find yourself tempted to study coffee and you own a coffee shop, think to yourself, I would even give you a ratio. It's almost like I could just arbitrarily say, you should be studying what's happening in your coffee shop 5 times as much, 10 times as much as you are studying coffee itself or the industry and all of that stuff. Or even listening to this podcast, then you will know exactly what kind of habits are taking place on your bar. And that will scare you away from having this, hey, everyone just train this new person and let me know when they're up to speed. It doesn't even work when everybody's on the same page, because you're not paying them to be trainers per se. You should have somebody in that position to be the educator. Usually I would suggest that'd be a manager, but maybe you are the manager of this one location because you're the owner, you're the manager, you're everything. Take this hands-on, strong, clear, hands-on approach. It is the merciful, good, and caring thing to do for people who crave certainty around the actions that they take in a new job where there's a lot of uncertainty and insecurity. And if they are taught that they cannot rely upon you for any of that, then they rely upon their coworkers and their coworkers rely upon each other. That's going to happen naturally anyway. But if they know they're doing it to make up for a lack in leadership, good luck being successful as a manager or being respected as a leader, because you started out trying to get rid of your responsibility versus embracing it to bring this person up in a responsible way. So that's what I wanted to talk about. If this is something that you've kind of fallen prey to, it's not too late to walk it back. Start structuring this, start centralizing, start creating an onboarding and training process that is not about osmosis and it'll rub off on people and that kind of stuff. Let's make this a real process, a real professional pursuit. That way we get real professionals working for us. That's kind of what we want, isn't it? So that's all I have to share today, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'll see you here next week on another edition of Shift Break, from keys to the shop.